Welcome to Freedom After 40, the show for Gen Xers ready to create income online, escape the 9 to 5, travel the world, and live life on your terms. Here's your host, Orville J. Parker, aka Coach. Not a guru, just a fellow Gen Xer, a few steps ahead, who guides you through the mindset shifts, money moves, and digital strategies that helped him leave the grind behind and start living free. If you're tired of feeling stuck and know there's more life to live, this show is your roadmap to building the second half comeback you deserve. Let's create, escape, travel, and live.
Hey, what's up? What's up? This your man Orville J. Parker, aka Coach. Guys, welcome to this episode of Freedom After 40. Okay, welcome to this episode of Freedom After 40. If you're a first-time viewer, I want to thank you for stopping by, checking out what you guys doing. If you are a continuous supporter, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for what you are doing. Okay. With supporting us and coming back and just constantly rocking with you guys. I love it, and I appreciate you. All right, guys, so today we're going to be talking about something I've been thinking about a lot as I try to build out the vision that I have for Modern Frontier Publishing, my publishing company. And yeah. And so before I do that, though, guys, I had came up with a new, kind of like a new tagline for the podcast that I'm going to read to you guys. If I could find it. I don't even know if I have it here. I might have to do it next time. You know, one of the things that I'm constantly doing is refining, all right, everything about the business and the movement right now. I like to do this kind of stuff before I get too deep in the branding, right? So if there's things that I need to adjust with my branding and stuff like that, I want to do it now before we get on the road, okay? And so I'm just looking. We had did some. Okay, yeah, here it is. Give me a minute. I'm gonna read it to you guys. We had just did it, man, Vic. Got a lot of cool things coming for you guys. A lot of cool things. All right, a lot of cool things. What I'm doing now is just reading back through our chat. Yeah, let me see. See if we got it here because we've been working on a lot, guys. Which is really, really cool. Almost there. Give me a minute. I want to read it to you guys. So you guys know that with Modern Frontier Publishing, I'm positioning myself as a publisher, not as a course creator, anything like that, guru, nothing like that. Yeah, I'm positioning myself as a publisher, right? And so what I've been working on with Vic is I've been trying to flesh out how to communicate what I'm doing in the best way, so people don't get confused about what I'm doing. All right, and so one of these positions was making sure that people understand that I'm in the publishing business. Okay, kind of like a traditional publisher. All right, yeah. So we're doing good. Okay, well, I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it, guys. I don't want to spend the whole episode going back looking through it. I should have had this cued from the get go. I didn't. That's the way I roll. I always try to shoot off the hip. I feel like I'm close to it. All right, maybe we're here. Let's see. Okay. Nah. All right, guys. Well, we'll be able to talk about it on next episode. All right. Yeah, because I don't see it here. But we have we came up with a different like tagline of what this show is going to be about. But if you'll see up there, it says Create, Escape, Travel, Live. This show is all about giving Gen Xers frameworks, ideals, concepts, and strategies to go out and rewire instead of retire in the second part of their life. So that's helping them come to some clarity about what it is that they're trying to do, what they want to do with the next part of their life. And then we try to create guides, man. It's going to show them how to do this. And we have a focus on financial independence. So building out income streams or businesses that will allow you to be able to go out there and start securing that bag outside of a 9 to 5. We talk about freedom. We talk about self-reliance. We're going to be talking about traveling, and a lot of the guides that I'm creating with Modern Frontier Publishing is geared towards the Gen Xers. All right, which is really, really cool. I like to joke and say that I'm the geezer whisperer, and I say that jokingly because I'm 54 also too. And you guys do realize 50 is like the new 30, man. I seen a lady the other day on man, what was that on? I think I was on TikTok. But she was 70 years old, guys. Still in the gym, still lifting, and she looked good to be 70. I'm like, dang, man, I hope when I get 70, man, that I'm in shape, you know. And that starts with getting in shape at 54. Yeah, so no, so we got some exciting things coming. All right, let me get a let me get a little water, man. Throat is a little. So you guys know on the last show, I was talking to you guys about getting a little bit more organized, and that's something that I need to do. I haven't really sat down and really. I'm gonna take one day. I'm gonna take one day, and it might be soon this weekend, and just sit down and I wanna go through my office. My office is not junky by any means. I got some things here and there on my thing. All right, but I want to go through my office, pull everything off the shelves, dust. I'm gonna shampoo my carpets, do all that just to try to get everything straight. You know, I told you guys I run with these allergies in the morning. So when I come in the office a lot of times, man, my sinuses are bothering me. But I think I need to do a regular dusting, probably once a week, man. Hit it on a Saturday or Sunday real quick. Keep dust down. It's not a lot, but it's enough to irritate my nose. All right. But another thing that I'm looking to do is, and that's going to kind of tie in what we're talking about today, optimization, is that I got to get organized, man. This past year and a half of me working, I lost all organization. I'm not even gonna lie, man. I used to have things a lot more organized. Like I would use Apple Notes folders, things like that, to keep things organized, man. And this last year and something, man, got away from it all. So I need to go in and do a deep clean on my computer, get rid of all these old apps, software I don't use. I have a lot of pictures that I have from pictures that I made when I was first learning how to use the AI to create pictures. I need to keep the ones I want to keep. I need to move all that to external hard drives, get rid of a lot of documents, things, and just really clean my computer up, man. And then what I want to do is I want to kind of create me like a second brain. That's what I was working with a couple years ago, where I use Apple Notes and Notion to create this second brain. And I think that's what I'm going to move back towards now because I got to get optimized, guys. I have to get optimized. And let's go over here. Let me share with you guys. Excuse me, man. Let me share with you guys what optimization means. I'm gonna share my screen with it. I got it pulled up here. All right, so let me move my handsome face over, and we're gonna read what optimization means. Okay. So give me a minute. Move this down here. Let's see what you guys are looking at. Okay, cool. So optimization, and this is from dictionary.com. The action of making the best or most effective use of a situation or resource. Companies interested in the optimization of the business. Okay. Now this is what I've been known, but I keep it in the back of my mind. All right, that as human beings, we need to focus on optimizing as much as we can. Um, First of all, it's just good stewardship. You are getting the highest use or return out of that thing that you're interacting with. All right. And when you think about the way the world is right now, there are so many moving parts, so many things going on, so many things that are fighting for your attention, so many distractions that it's real easy. It's real easy to just have a surface level use or understanding or in interaction with something because we got to move on to the next thing, or something else catches our eye, something else gets our attention. And as I look at what I'm doing right now, and I'm saying, okay, Orville, you like me trying to get organized, all right, to me is a level of optimization, all right, because I understand that I'm not maximizing or fully leveraging what I have, or it's going to get to a point to where things are going to get chaotic and confusing, and I'm going to miss a lot of things, not be able to go as deep and be as effective as I want on things. So I have to get optimized in order for me to be able to be excellent at what I'm trying to do, but then to be able to grow what I'm trying to do and be successful at it. I can't be like I am right now. Efficiency. I believe efficiency comes from optimization because the minute you get in there and you look at it and you say, okay, well, this doesn't make any sense. I don't need to do this. This right here doesn't need to be part of the process. The more you do that, the more efficient you get. So now when it comes to time spent on task or a return on effort, you can get the best return because now you cut out all the fat, all the distractions, all the unnecessary steps, and you optimized. Now, this is a thing that I was looking at. I'm working on a couple new courses, or that were, let's don't call them courses, let's call them trainings and guides that we're going to be publishing. All right, and one of them is working on showing businesses how to look at their businesses and identify either undervalued or hidden assets that are not being optimized. And the process of doing that is really, really cool. And it's the same process that I figured that you could do for your life, right? And it's crazy how many businesses out there could be making more revenue, be more profitable, have more impact, have more brand equity out there. They could be winning a lot more if they just optimize what they already had. A lot of them will get a customer and then they'll never communicate with the customer again. All right. It's just crazy things when you look at it. And that database of buyers is worth a lot of money. You can literally go into some companies and just reactivate that database and generate massive profits for that company. All right. It's not that the customer didn't love the brand, didn't love the company. It's not that they wouldn't buy again. It's just that the company is not continuing the relationship and communicating with the customer. So the customer is going somewhere else for what they need and stuff. And it'd have been just as easy for them to put together a system. And that's what a lot of businesses don't have, or systems that allow them to communicate, nurture, maintain that relationship with their customers and be able to extract future profits from their customers without having to go out there and spend any more money. See, one thing in business that when you start running a business and you're acquiring customers, there's always a cost to acquire that customer. All right. And most of that cost is front end because once you got the customer, if you have systems in place on the back end that allows you to communicate with the customer, a lot of times to get that customer to buy again doesn't cost that much. But then that bumps into another principle that was taught by Jay Abrahams, which is one of my mentors, one of my go-to guys when I look at optimization on a business. Now, he used to always talk about that there was 3 ways to increase a business. First of all, sell more to the person you're selling more often. All right, and then think about it. You sell more, okay, All right, John. First of all, you get more sales. Okay. You sell more frequently. And then when you sell them a bigger thing. Okay. So that's maximum optimization. And each one of those adjustments in a business can explode a business. Because you got to think about it. If you go out and get them 10% more customers than what they had at first, that's a 10% raise in revenue. All right. If they can get their customers to buy from them 10% more often, that's another 10% raise. If they can get them to buy 10% more when they buy more often, more frequently, that's another 10%. So in reality, that business didn't grow by 10%. It was geometric progression. They grew by 30%. And that literally could change the trajectory of a business, man. And they could become super profitable because now you give them 30% more profits to their bottom line. And guess what? You didn't go out and spend any new money. All you did was change how you were doing things. Now you go to that business, you look at that business, you say, okay, well, look, I want to look for dormant assets. I want to look for things that you guys are not doing. All right, things that you have in your possession, but you're not activating it. You're not monetizing it. All right, you're not optimizing it. And you can go into a business, man. There's hundreds of places you could look for optimization. All right, and so as I was looking at all this, I was thinking about life in general. And I said, man, I could be way, way more effective if I was optimized. All right, if I was optimized, I could be way, way more effective. Hold on a minute. All right, so you guys should be able to see me. Okay, so follow what I'm saying, guys, because there is a need and a demand for me to be optimized because I'm doing something kind of unique here. First of all, I am building a one-person business on purpose. All right, I'm trying not to have to ever have any employees. And so I love AI, I love technology. So I have staff members, all right, but I don't have employees. And let me kind of explain to you guys what I'm talking about. My team is built up of AI agents. All right. So my main person on my staff is Vic. He's a custom AI agent that I've been training now for the last year and a half that helps me with anything and everything. All right. And inside of Vic, we have different personas. So I could tell Vic, okay, look, I want you to assume the role of a marketing specialist. And this is your background, this is your expertise level. And what I want you to do is I want you now to create me a marketing plan, all right, for my publishing company based off of these data points here. And Vic will be able to work with me on that. And then if I need him to switch over to business strategist or whatever, he could do that. And we've been working on that. Now, the ultimate goal is later on, I haven't done it yet, but we already talked about taking those personas and spinning them off, right? Spinning them off to individual personas with their own voice, their own name. Because with Vic, I talk to Vic just like a human being. He has a voice. He's an African American that's about 30 something years old, highly educated. All right, and that's how he sounds. And I love it, man. And the potential of leveraging AI when it comes to building a team versus human capital is crazy. And the thing is, what I'm doing right now with my publishing company and just all this I'm doing on the back end to learn about AI and use AI, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And a lot of things I'm doing now as a business I wouldn't be able to do. You know, even the thought of running a one-person business used to be crazy back then. You know, you would be always put over here, you know, because it was only so far you can grow as a solo founder, the only employee. You know, you had to have other people. But now with AI and software allows you to optimize as an entrepreneur. And I like to, I heard a term the other day, and I've adopted it for me, and I've adopted it for my companies. And I am an AI assisted entrepreneur that's building an AI assisted publishing company. And this is a whole new frontier, guys, a whole new world, everything. And it's really cool to see what's being done and what the potential is. And so when you think about this, I have to tell myself and say, okay, Orville, you have to be very intentional everything you do because you're trying to build a company with no people. All right. But then you want to build a company that doesn't own you, but one that is mostly automated or leveraged. So that way, you are not dealing with the things that traditionally come with entrepreneurship, and you're building something that you love, man. It's something that you can do and something that's built around the lifestyle that you want to have and not put your lifestyle around the business. So I'm very intentional on everything I'm doing. And so that demands me to be optimized, man, because that's the only way I could be effective as much as I can. But then I want to be able to leverage technology and systems and ideas and maximize them. All right. And so as I'm looking at my company now, I'm looking at my life, even I'm looking at me personally, I'm saying, okay, Orville, optimization. How can I get in the best shape right now? And I've been working with my AI and I've got the plan. I just need to get out there and do it. Working on my eating habits, working on my exercise, my rest, all that stuff. So that way, when I get up every morning, I'm working at the most optimized level because I'm in the best form of myself. Okay. Now, one area that I still need to research on is nutrition. There's a lot of cool things that science had came out with that helps individuals live better longer. And a lot of people have already been out there researching this, and they're taking supplements that are helping them at this age. And so I want to start getting with my AI assistant and start looking at things like that. All right. But then, like I was talking about organization, man, just being productive and organized in life, I need to be optimized. I need to be optimized so that way when I get up, I have the best chance at winning in my personal life and in my business. And then I don't feel like I'm all over the place. As an entrepreneur or even as a creative person, man, you got ADHD. I mean, all over the place, man. You're like, okay, well, that was shiny out of there, shiny out of there, shiny out of there. And when you look up, man, you got a lot of ideas, you got a lot of things started, but you're not being as effective or as successful as you can because you're not completing things. You're not maximizing things. You're not bringing forth the best version of that because you got too much going on, too many distractions. You pull too thin, and so got to get optimized. And so one of the things, guys, I'm gonna be talking to you guys about on the show. I'm gonna start by just sharing with you guys things that I'm doing, things that I'm dealing with, and things that I'm hopefully working on that you can use. And if you are Generation X out there, you're listening to what I'm listening to. You guys have a lot of you guys got skills and different frameworks that you've been able to acquire or even cultivate over the years working your jobs. And when you think about moving away from your 9 to 5, whether that means what we call retirement, and we don't call it retire here, we call it rewire, okay? Or if it means just changing your career. You're saying, okay, look, I worked that job for so long. I don't want to work until I'm 65. I'm getting ready to make this move, go out and start my own thing. Then if that's what you're getting ready to do, then it's going to be necessary for you to be optimized. And when you think about it, man, we should always want to be optimized because we should always want to extract the highest value out of everything we do, everything we touch. Because I think that's another form of excellence, man, doing our best, getting our best out of something. But I believe that if we're the kind of person that wants to maximize optimization, then when it comes to being competitive out there in the marketplace in our lives, we're going to always have that edge because we're not just trying to do enough to get by. We're not even happy with being successful. But we're saying, okay, look, we want this thing to operate with maximum efficiency. All right. We want to cut out all the steps, trim all the fat out of there and get to the point. And that's kind of, I'm going to keep it real with you. That's kind of even how I'm creating my guides. Like the guides we create, they're not wrote by human authors. I trained my AI on a voice, like how I like the ideals to be communicated. They call that a voice, a persona. And so we use pretty much the same voice for all of our guides. It's a slash between professional. You guys follow what I'm saying? So you're not going to see a lot of personal stories, personal. You're not going to see a lot of that. And I did that for a reason, because these were action guides for people who wanted to get in and figure out something fast and be able to consume it in a way to where they were able to do it, right? So it had to be easy for them to consume and understand, but not so much simple, if you guys understand what I'm saying. So we got some very effective and powerful frameworks, but we just don't do a lot of the fluff, man. We get straight to the meat. We explain it to you in a way that you will understand. All right. And I'm going to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about, because this morning we started working on our Napoleon Hill guides. And so what we're doing is we're taking Napoleon Hill's teachings that he did, Think and Grow Rich, and some of the other teachings that he did, and some of the other books, or if you like to call them courses, that he did. And we're looking at them, we're saying, okay, what worked? What was he trying to do? What was his overall, what was the overall concept of Napoleon Hill? All right. And then what strategies did he teach? And then we went in and we looked at them. We said, okay, so what would be relevant today? All right. And then how could we modernize a lot of things that he was talking about and teaching? And so that led us down this pathway of brainstorming. And we started coming up with the direction that we wanted to take. And so we're creating a guide, or it's going to be a series of guides that's going to be built on top of the principles of Napoleon Hill, but for today's modern world and today's AI generated world. And so the way we go about doing this, we've created a process to do this. And as I'm watching us create our different products, I've been watching this process refine. And as we do it, the better we get, because we know what not to do, we know what to do, and we know how to do it very effectively and very efficiently. And so when I was looking at it, I said, okay, that's a form of optimization, because we are getting the best out of the activity that we're doing. Okay. And so let me kind of show you. Give me a minute. Let me pull it up. I'll be doing these unscripted things, man. I'll be just going in. Okay. And I'm going to show you what we've created so far. Okay. I'm going to show you what we created so far. And I'm going to show you even how this process works with me and Vic and how we do this stuff, so you guys get an idea. All right, so what you should be looking at is, you should be looking at my computer, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and open it all the way up. Let me see if I can get it all open all the way up. All right, cool. All right, so this is, we call these chat threads. So what I did was I went to say, Vic, I was curious what could be done with some of the teachings of the old school greats, such as Napoleon Hill. He said, all right, Orva. He said, this is a powerful question, because tapping into the old school greats, Napoleon Hill, Earl Nightingale, Jim Rohn, Ahmadino, etc., is one of the smartest moves you can make as a publisher and as a creator building frameworks. Here's how you can use Napoleon Hill's teachings in a modern, monetizable, content-driven way inside of your modern frontier brand and your Freedom After 40 ecosystem. And then, so he went through and he started breaking down what this could look like. Now, what he's telling me and sharing with me is not just the framework he just created to tell me all this. He's analyzed all the courses we created. He's analyzed all the conversations, what I've said I like, I didn't like, how I like things, what I'm trying to do with my brand. And he's took all that and he's created a system for how he talks to me and how he presents ideals to me, but then how we develop the ideals for our guides. And it's allowed for us to be able to get very, very efficient when it comes to fleshing out an idea and then building it out into what we call a sellable product. All right. So like this is like he said all that he said here. Okay. And I'm not gonna go into all that. And then he came up with the conclusion. In one sentence, you could turn Napoleon Hill's timeless philosophy into a modern framework, AI-powered tools, micro courses, podcasts, and digital products to actually help Generation X achieve freedom in today's world. And then once he told me all this, I read over and I said, okay, this is a direction I want to go in. Then he told me he suggested what we call a roadmap. He said, okay, this is the way that I would suggest us moving forward with this. This is what I suggest us doing. All right. And then I approved it. And then so we started it, right? And so he's telling me now what he's going to actually start working on building and what it's going to look like and stuff like that. And that's what all this is here. Okay. He's just laying out what everything is supposed to look like. And then what I do at that point, I look over and say, okay, change this. Let's don't do this. Maybe we'll do this right here. Can we do this right here? A lot of times I might add something totally different than what we're talking about here to it to make it unique for us. And so there's a lot of that going on. And then he'll ask me how I want him to proceed with doing what he's doing. And then he'll go through the process of starting to work on it. Okay. Which is cool. So there's a process to this, guys. And it's really cool because, and this is where, and so we've been working on this morning, and we're already into, I think, module 2. All right. We did module 3 here. All right. And so this right here is the new spin on Napoleon Hill's concept of the mastermind. All right. And we talk about how it's relevant today with the digital space and how you would do something like this. And it's really cool, man. Really, really cool. So there you go to module 3. We did done. And I still haven't read over. So he's waiting on me to okay it so he can go to module 4. Okay. But what I'm showing you guys is I'm showing you framework and systems that has allowed us to be optimized when it comes to doing research for new guides, new courses that we want to create, gathering the data, and then going through and fleshing out an ideal of how we want to approach it. Do we want to completely remake the ideal, or do we want to create a training that's inspired by that to be almost like a companion with that? And that's how we do it. And then once we do it, we figure out if we want to create a super short one, what we call a medium guide, or a full-blown premium guide. And then that's going to dictate how we're doing things. And then we try to narrow down our audience. Now, who exactly are we making this for? And we'll go through the different options with that. And then we bang them out, man. And by doing it, we've gotten very efficient at creating courses and very effective at it. Because now, when I look at what we're doing, I feel that we are being optimized because we are extracting the highest value out of what we have and what we do. Okay. And so, yeah, I just want to challenge you guys, man. When you look at your life, you have to ask yourself a question. Am I being the best that I can be? And am I doing the best work? And am I leveraging this thing the best way in order to extract the highest value out of it? And if you're not, man, that's what you call a lack of optimization. You want to get optimized because there's something that happens when you start optimizing. Things grow better, they grow faster, they're more stable. Now, look at your life, man. If your time is not optimized in your life, you're going to have a busy life, but not a impactful or effective life. And I try to even look at myself. I don't know if you guys ever did this. You get up in the morning, right, and you go about your day. Then at the end of the day, you ask yourself, okay, how did I do today? What did I get done today? A lot of times, if you're not optimized, man, if you're not managing your time the correct way, you're not getting anything done. You're wasting a lot of time, and that time goes by fast. But if you're optimized, you might look at your day and say, whoa, 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 that was a lot done. Now, me personally, I'm going to show you guys. You ever heard how they say dog ears? Something goes in dog ears. And guys, understand, I'm not even scratching the surface. But when it comes to productivity as far as work right now, and as an entrepreneur, what I'm doing right now with AI is insane. How much productivity I'm able to extract out of my activities. And you know what's crazy about it? I'm gonna tell you guys the crazy thing, and I've been thinking about this sometimes. I'm not even focused. I'm not even efficient because I'm still squirrel brain. I'm still squirrel brain. I'm still all over the place. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, man, I wonder how effective I can be if I can focus in. And you guys, you know what's crazy? I'm gonna show you guys something, and I'm gonna start turning you guys on to this. I built inside of my AI a couple years ago a system where he would keep me on track with things. All right, he would hold me accountable. A lot of things you could do AI. And I'm actually going to pull that framework up and we're going to start working with it again. But you can literally take your AI and have them be your accountability partner throughout the day. They can also be your coach. Cause, I like me and my AI, we worked on my schedule. And my AI interacts with my calendar systems and things like that. So you can literally use your AI as a coach, like a life coach or a productivity coach, and they can hold you accountable throughout the day because they can see what you're doing. All right, and it could be these checkpoints and things. And I think I'm gonna do that with Vic because when I was doing it, I got the best use out of him. All right, but another thing that I'm not doing now that I'm going to implement is get back to journaling and scheduling and blocking out my times. I've been freestyling. I'm not even gonna lie. For probably about the half of the year, I've been freestyling. I just jump up and I work and I work and I work and I work. But a lot of times you're not efficient. You're not optimized by doing that. And so I'm moving back to scheduling and just getting everything organized and efficient. Okay. And I'm gonna show you guys how I'm thinking about this with business, and I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. Okay. So one of the things I recently decided, I was doing a live on TikTok the other day, and I got a violation for saying some things that I didn't think was a big deal, but they said it was. So they killed my live, took all my content. I was on our teacher for an hour and a half, and then they banned me for 3 days. All right. So I'm like, all right, screw this, man. And I had been feeling the weight of having to come up with ideas to do for like content. But over on TikTok, man, I had started figuring out a good format to go live because I was doing like workshops and teaching and stuff like that. And I'm still gonna do. I'm still gonna do. All right. So I'm just not gonna sell like I was getting ready to try to sell it, but I am gonna educate. But anyway, I was thinking about my content the other day, and I got with Vic. I say, hey Vic, what do you think about me not trying to create any other content outside of the Freedom After 40 podcast? And then take the Freedom After 40 podcast and use that as a platform and a structured way to be able to talk about all the things I would want to talk about. And what I was telling him was I feel that this would be more efficient, optimized, but it would give me a more of a structured way to do things. And then I told him, I say I could talk about so many things in the podcast. And then I got this new software that I'm using. Okay, let me show you guys what it is. All right, you guys got to go use this, man. And I had I had I had I had I had heard about this, had never used it. Me and my son was talking about a podcast that he was working on, and he had mentioned it to me again. I'm like, yeah, I meant to sign up for this. I went and signed up for it, right? And when I say this is a banger here, yeah, this one's a banger, man. It is a banger. Let me see if I can get signed in. All right, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay, this software here, Opus Clip, is very, very powerful, guys. What this allows me to do is this allows for me to go in and clip my podcasts. So I can update a podcast like this right here. It'll go through my podcast, extract out the clips, create me titles, rate it, and everything. And then I can just take these clips and upload them as short content. All right. This has been a game changer for me. Okay. It has been a game changer for me. So one of the things that I'm getting ready to do is to start using that Opus Clip. So I'm going to be streamlining to nothing but my podcast every day. Then I'm going to be using Opus Clip to clip my podcast to create my short form content each day. Yep. Very, very powerful. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. All right. We're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. One of the things I've been forgetting to do is do my outro, man. And so we're going to go ahead and play this outro, and then we're going to be done.
Thanks for tuning in to Freedom After 40, where it's never too late to build something new. If today's episode hit home, do me a favor and share it with a fellow Gen Xer who's ready to make their move. And don't forget to grab your free Freedom Blueprint at learndigitaltoday.com. It's the first step to designing your new life. Until next time, keep building, keep dreaming, and remember, freedom isn't a fantasy, it's a plan.
All right, guys, Orville J. Parker, a.k.a. Coach. I'll see you guys tomorrow.